What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome into the Week 12 Daily Juice Betting Pros YouTube live stream here for a Sunday. What's up? How are you? Matt Perrault with you for the next hour. We'll go through Week 12, get into questions you guys may have. You can leave it in the live chat down below. I'll get to as many questions as I can. I've got prop bets, 4 of them that I'll tell you about that I have bet today. We always bet, at least I do, at 0.25 units on those, so we don't go heavy, but we take some shots and we have something else to watch besides the plays you're going to see here on the side, which is, I can do that, on the side, which will be the 4 plays I've made. You guys have heard that on the Daily Juice this morning, so hopefully you guys have listened to the podcast so you know where we're going today and got the good numbers today before we get into everything else that's happening around the league. This is the hardest day of the NFL season, okay? This is going to be a very tricky day. And I think you've got to be a little bit concerned here. And look, it's hard anyway to do this. Today is especially hard. Like, I don't know how you bet the Saints game. I don't know how you fade the Broncos. I don't know how you could say, oh, they've got some dude, Kendall, whatever his name is, right? Who the hell's that guy? That's the problem. You don't know what that guy is. We don't know. We don't know if they're going to pull out every trick play that they've got. We don't know if they're going to run a ton of Wildcat. We don't know if they're going to run, out of the shotgun. We simply do not know what is going to happen for the Broncos. So I don't know how in the world. I'm going to watch the game closely because it's going to be wild, but I don't think you can bet that game. Now, you definitely can't bet the 13.5, 14.5, 15, whatever that number is going to close at. You definitely can't bet that. But it's more than that. It's more than just what's going to happen for the game against the number, but it's also just like, can the Broncos win the game? Like, what happens if they win the game, right? Everyone's sitting here going, the Broncos are done. Everyone's going to hammer the Saints. And while I don't hate if you're sitting on a Saints -6 ticket, I think you're going to cash, but I'm not getting involved in that game. Absolutely not. The Saints outdoors at altitude, That is the wildest game of the day by far. Now, there's more COVID problems for the Ravens, who have to be going, all right, wait a minute. You moved games. You moved us twice. We got Mark Andrews, who's not going to play on Tuesday. Both starting running backs aren't going to play on Tuesday. We don't believe that Lamar Jackson's going to play on Tuesday, and yet the game is on for the Steelers and the Ravens. And I mean, my goodness, it's sort of just like play and move on, right? Like, hey, guys, sorry you've got 18, 19, 20 players on your COVID-19 list, but you just got to play it out. Supposedly, the Broncos pleaded with the NFL to move this game to Monday or Tuesday, and the NFL was like, nope, you're playing. Let's go. It's a little bit hard to understand what gets a game moved and what doesn't get a game moved. I mean, 3 quarterbacks all on the contact list. All 3 quarterbacks. The Broncos went to the NFL and tried to get their offensive, what is his title? They have a quality control coach for their offense, and they asked to have him. He was a quarterback a couple of years ago, I guess. He's like a 25-year-old dude who I hadn't really heard much about, but they went and asked and said, hey, can he play for us? And they said no, because they're worried about players being stashed on coaching staffs to circumvent the roster rules. So the NFL's like, no, you can't do that. But that would have been wild to watch them come in. So, I mean, there are Saint players today who are testing positive with COVID-19. This is just, if you have a bad day today, just understand that you're going to be in the same boat as many people. And if you do well, be thankful, because it's going to be very hard. This is one of the more difficult and tough days in the NFL to come up with. I mean, just to come up with picks today is really hard and difficult to do. So, as we always do, we start with FanDuel sends out every morning, where's the money going? This is just information. I don't see, don't fade or follow this, but it's just for our own conversation points as to where the money is going. And like I mentioned here, when it comes to the Saints and the Broncos, the line now at 15.5. At FanDuel. So it was 6. When they thought it was Drew Lock starting for the Broncos, it was 6. Now it's 15.5. Okay. Game time temperature, it's going to be about 35 degrees. Not going to be great for the Saints playing outdoors. I mean, this is altitude. We saw Miami go up there in a very similar situation and lose the game outright. But look, I just don't think you can play this game. I just don't think you can get involved. But 75% of the bets and 69% of the money still coming in here on New Orleans, even at 15.5. The money line, 57% of the bets and 58% of the money coming in on the Saints. And then the total, everyone likes points here, 36.5. It just seems stupid low, right? I mean, if the Broncos can do anything on offense, if the defense can set the offense up on short fields, 68% of the bets, 53% of the money, though, coming in here on the over 36.5. I thought about teasing this game. I thought about doing using this as part of the teaser and taking the total from 36.5 down to 30.5 and betting the over. I couldn't do it just because, again, you can't predict this Broncos offense. It might score nothing today. They might score 0 points. The Saints might score 21, and then it's a 21-0 victory. So the Saints cover, but they don't cover a total. So this is a no-play game for me. I'm staying far away from the Saints and the Broncos. I'm staying away from prop bets in this game. I'm just not touching it. It's way too complicated and crazy as to what's going on. The line opened at 5.5 at FanDuel, now currently sitting at 15.5 for the Saints and the Broncos. Cardinals at the Patriots. Interesting game here for sure. So you got the Cardinals who, going across the country again, taking on the Patriots who are coming off that bad loss to the Texans. I'm not saying the Patriots are making the playoffs. They're most likely not going to make the playoffs. But this is one of the games that I had circled as a victory for the Patriots and said they're going to win this game. There are some troubling numbers if you are on the side of the Cardinals for this game, all right? When I see numbers like this, I look to fade, okay? I didn't play it. I did pick this game. I picked the Patriots in the Westgate Super Contest today at +2. 90% of the bets, 89% of the money coming in here on the Cardinals, -1.5, -2 on the road at the Patriots. 70% of the money line bets, 79% of the money for money line coming in here on the Cardinals to win this game. And then the over, how about this? 94% of the money. 94% of the money coming in on the over 50.5 for the Cardinals and the Patriots. Just 72% of the bets, however, coming in on it. So you got some professional money coming in here on the Cardinals and the Patriots. I don't hate that at all. I think the over is very much in play. In fact, we'll talk about it on the prop bets. I think there's some things you can look at here for the Cardinals and the Patriots. But watch out for the Patriots. Just telling you right now, historically speaking, our friend Patrick Everson had an interesting tweet from BetMGM that I want to get to here. So here's where we are with at points bets on the East Coast. The Cardinals went from 2.5 to 1.5, down to 1, down to 2, now back to 1.5 today. All the action on the side, backing Arizona, 90% of the bets and 90% of the handle, the money, all coming in here on the Cardinals on the road at New England. It's pros versus Joes on the total from 49 to 49.5, down to 49 with 50%. Now it's 50. 65% of the bets on the over, but split money, 50-50 on the under here, okay? So points bets is seeing a much different number than what we're seeing at FanDuel. Now, this is why we talk about this stuff, right? Because it's important to go book by book, and different books have different numbers. Points bets is 50-50. FanDuel is 94-6. That's a monster difference, right, when it comes to the total. So the professionals at points bets, the pro money is coming in on the under 50.5. I'm just telling you, when you see 90% going one way, Patriots in the under. Just if you want to take a flyer today, if you want to just fade the public, I'm not guaranteeing it's going to hit. But if you're doing well, if you're up, you got some plus money to play with, not crazy. Not crazy to go ahead and throw something on the Patriots here to cover +2, +2.5. Pats on the money line and the under, something along those lines. If your book allows you to parlay those two plays together, I mean, you could do that. I mean, I don't like parlaying, obviously, but I'm just throwing out ideas as to what you could do to get involved in that game if you want. But this is one of the games where the books are going to be glued and watching because they have a significant interest in the Patriots winning this game outright and the under hitting at certain books, the under hitting here for the Patriots and the Cardinals. Weather in New England is going to be about 45 degrees and sunny, so no weather concerns, not the nicest of temperatures out there for the warm weather Cardinals, but I don't think the weather's going to have any impact on whether or not Arizona can win that game. Panthers at the Vikings, the line, Vikings -3, total 49.5. 64% of the bets coming in here on the Vikings to cover that 3 points against Carolina. 47% of the bets on the Vikings on the money line, though. So 53% on the Panthers to win the game on the bets, but 65% of the money on that. Pro money coming in on the Vikings, or more money coming in on the Vikings. And you got 71% of the bets coming in on the total on the over 49.5. Browns at Jacksonville. This is a hard game. I mean, this is a game where the Browns should win and win easily, but after what happened yesterday, if you really watched this last week, you really watched the Steelers game. So they hung tough against the Packers, the Jags did. And then in the first half, things were going okay for Jacksonville, and then they had a turnover in the red zone, and then everything kind of went to crap for them. Everything fell apart for them. So I wonder, can Jacksonville keep this game close? The public doesn't think so. 85% of the bets, 84% of the money, all coming in here on Cleveland laying the 7. Money line all over Cleveland, 78%. Money line bets, money on money lines on the handle. And then the under, 65%. Everyone keeps on going back to the well here when it comes to the unders for Cleveland because they've been making money on betting the unders on Cleveland. So they're going under 48.5 points on that one. Raiders at the Falcons. Raiders laying 3 on the road at Atlanta, the total being 53.5. We are involved here with the total, and I'm riding with the public here. 86% of the bets, but only 46% of the money coming in here. So there's opposite split here. All the tickets, which you'd think the public ticket bets coming in on the over, and then 54% of the money coming in on the under here. 89% coming in on the Raiders -3. 83% of the money coming in on the Raiders -3 as well, and then 84% of the money on the money line for the Raiders to win against the Falcons. It's a tough game to call. I would say I think the Raiders are going to win the game. I do. But I think when you go back and look at the domes, we talked about it this morning on the live stream, on the Daily Juice podcast, the dome numbers scream over. Okay, and it's just because you look at the way the Raiders have played in domes and look at the way the Falcons have played in domes, their offenses come to life, and I don't like either defense. So I don't want to say I hate riding with that number, and you want to fade the public, go ahead and fade the public here. 14% on the under for tickets. It's a pretty big public fade, and with the way that I'm running, with how cold I am, I'm not going to tell you that, hey, I'm betting the under, Matt, because you can't pick games right now. I'm 2 for 10. I'm 2 for my last 8 bets. Okay, so not good. Not where we want to be when you're 2 for my last 10. Excuse me, I'm 2 and 8. 2 for my last 10 bets. All right, so 20. I'm running at 20% right now. Okay, FYI. So, but I like the over there for the Raiders and the Falcons just based upon the home number, based upon the domes that both these teams have put up big numbers in. Chargers at the Buffalo Bills. This is part of the Perrault 2-team teaser we do every week. We're 7-4 so far on the year. I'm teasing this number from 4.5 up to 10.5 for the Chargers here at Buffalo. This is another monster pros versus Joes game here. Chargers, 19% of the bets coming in here on the Chargers at plus 5.5. But if you want to go, all right, reverse line movement, which I don't like, but if you want to talk about it, this is the reverse line movement game. All right. So all the bets are coming in here on the Bills, right? 81% of the bets on the Bills, yet the number's going down. So why is that? Because you've got respected money coming in here on the Chargers to potentially go into Buffalo and win the game. And look, do I like fading the Bills? Yes, I like fading the Bills. So Austin Eckler, if you want to go and talk about, I didn't bet it, but if you want to talk about a prop bet that you might want to go ahead, Austin Eckler's back, and Austin Eckler might get a significant amount of carries today for the Chargers. So, again, I don't like getting involved with guys coming off injury, coming right back, because you just don't know they could get re-injured, and then your prop bet's gone. So, I got to see Austin Eckler at least for a little bit, for one game, to see what he looks like before we get involved again with an Austin Eckler bet. But I mean, if you want to take a flyer on somebody, Austin Eckler is supposedly going to get a big dose of carries today for the Chargers at the road at Buffalo, try to control the line of scrimmage there. Everyone's on the over. 95% of the bets at 51.5 at FanDuel. 95% of the bets are on the over. Dolphins laying 7 on the road at the Jets. I wouldn't bet this game with your money. The prop bet cheat sheet for betting pros likes the under for the passing on Ryan Fitzpatrick. I couldn't go near it because I just can't trust the Jets to do anything. So to ask that Jet defense to rise up and stop, I just can't. Fitzpatrick's going to potentially put up big numbers today. 86% of the bets, 82% of the money coming in on the Dolphins -7. You got 80% of the money line bets coming in on the Dolphins as well to win that game at the New York Jets. Giants laying 6 against the Bengals. Everyone likes the Giants today. Everyone. 93% of the bets and 91% of the money all coming in here on the Giants on the road laying 6. No Joe Burrow. Can the Bengals do anything? I get it. I mean, I get the bet here. I don't trust the Giants to do anything. I couldn't stomach it. I wanted to. I was like, Giants going to win that game, right? NFC East to do anything? I don't know. 78% of the money coming in on the Giants to win the game on the road at the Bengals. So many road teams being looked to win, being back to win today, including the Titans, who I think win the game outright today as 3-point dogs on the road at the Colts. I'm riding here with a lot of people. 86% of the bets and 84% of the money come in here on the Titans. It's tough to beat a team for a second time, in really only 4 weeks. And then you got 69% of the bets and 70% of the money coming in on the Titans, plus the 3 on the road at the Colts. You got injury concerns. Obviously, a little bit of a nicked up quarterback there with Phillip Rivers. You got some issues on the receiving core. You got some issues with the defense. You got some COVID problems with the Colts. So I just think the Titans found something last week against Baltimore, and I think two teams both 7-3, monster game. I think game of the day, other than Chiefs and Bucks, and I'll be glued to that game. I can't wait to watch that to see what's going to happen here. Let's see. So Julio Jones is not expected to play today for the Falcons. That's not great for my over bet, but he's expected to be out. MVS for the Packers is a game time decision. We know that Gurley's out and McCaffrey's out. We've already known that. So now is Ridley playing? I guess that would be my next question is what's going on with Calvin Ridley? Is he going to play for that Falcons offense? 49ers at the Rams. Now, you guys know the Niners have this crazy situation right now because, my goodness, the 49ers have a problem. Their problem is right now they're dealing with the fact that the county is telling them that they cannot practice tackle football. Nobody can, both pros and college. So they're on the road this week. I think they're on the road next week as well. But where are they going to practice? Where are they going to live? Where can they play their games? Now, no fans, so it's not like you're losing a home field advantage, and maybe the Niners are on the road for the rest of the year. That's a possibility. The Niners are not making the playoffs, so maybe that's what's going to happen. But this is another one of those problems for the NFL that they got to figure out what to do here. But 80% of the bets and 78% of the money at FanDuel coming in on the Rams, laying 5.5, 78% to 86% of the money on the handle for the Rams to win, which I want the Rams to win because we've got 2 divisional bets we made back when there was nothing going on. We took the Steelers at plus 115 to win the division. That's now minus 6,000. The Rams to win their division, that's now, I believe, I got to check on that. I think I laid money on that. I think I laid minus 110 on that, I believe. But it's plus 110 now between them and the Seahawks to win the division because the Seahawks have a very easy schedule the rest of the way. They have an easier schedule the rest of the way. So that's why people are thinking that the Seahawks are going to win the West. I still like the Rams, but today would be a big day. Today's a good day, to get a W for the Rams to kind of get, not solidify their run, but get a victory they should get, put it that way, for the race. Seattle's going to win most likely on Monday night against the Eagles. Kansas City against Tampa. I am Joe Public on this, and I hate it. I straight up hate it, okay? We bet it. I bet it a while ago. I bet it on, what day did I bet it on? Wednesday, I think we bet this. So I expected some money to come in here on the Chiefs to move this number to 4.5. We'll see if late money comes in to drive this number up. A lot of people are on the are on the Bucks rather, to bounce back after their poor performances. I just think there are certain teams, historically speaking, they're just bad matchups in a bad spot. The Bucks go to a bye week next week. They've got winnable games on the other side. They're not going to win the division. They know that they're not going to win the division. I think there's some real problems with that offense. I'm laying the 3.5 here. I would prefer the 3. It ticked down to 3 for like a second. I never got it. I bet 3.5. But if you could find the 3 somewhere or buy the half a point down, that's very expensive to do that. But that might be the play. You're backing a road favorite that's getting 89% of the bets and 87% of the money. So pros and Joes both on the same side here, betting on Kansas City. The over 55.5, 89% on both the handle and the money coming in here on the over 55.5. Why? It's Patrick Mahomes. I don't like the Bucs defense either, okay? I think they've been exposed by different teams, namely the Saints. And yes, running the football is important for Kansas City, but they don't have to run the football. The Bucs have to run the football, and I think the defense for the Chiefs are going to take away Ronald Jones and make it all about Brady. And, well, that's going to be one of our prop bets here. I'll tell you about here in a second. And then tonight, you got Bears in Green Bay. 8.5, 9.5. That line has come down a little bit. It was 9.5. Now it's 8.5. You got 56% of the bets and 67% of the money coming in here. I probably will get involved with this game depending upon how the day goes. So if we have an okay day and we make back a little bit what we've blown over the last couple of days, then I probably will get involved here. If I go 0-4 on my plays, I will not be involved in this game. I'm going to wait till tomorrow and wait till Tuesday and just sort of like lick my wounds as we go here with that. So let's get to a couple of questions before we get to the prop bets here. Good job, guys. Thanks for lining up all these questions. Just curious, of the 7 Wong teasers eligible games, which are your favorites to tease? Okay, so let me pull this up real quick here because we're approaching game time here. So for numbers, which games would factor into the Wong teaser? There's a couple, but the totals scare the holy heck out of me. Remember, it's got to be 49 or under. So the games that are eligible under 49 totals are Giants, Bengals, Browns, Jags, Dolphins, Jets, Rams, 49ers, Packers, Bears. Okay, everything else is either is 49.5 or up. Okay, so even a half point, 49.5, you can't play it. Okay, so if you're looking at Wong teasers, money's coming in on the over today. The weather is okay across the country, so a lot of money's coming on the over. So, like for instance, I would take the Giants and tease the Giants down to a pick and just have them win the game at the Bengals. I think that's very possible. And then the other one, maybe you could go and take the Dolphins and tease the Dolphins down to 1. And all the Dolphins got to do is win. So Dolphins to win at -1 and the Giants to win at a pick. Look, that's really ugly. But the Patriots no longer qualify. Their total is now 50.5, so their total is going up, and the Patriots are +1. I would love to get 2 on that and tease the Patriots to 8. Almost did that last night, okay? But the possibility of the Patriots getting blown out today, possible. Too likely for me to get involved. Too likely to have a double-digit loss to the Cardinals today. So I stayed away from that game. But I wouldn't hate the Falcons. If you want to take the Falcons and take the Falcons, but no, the total is 53, so it doesn't qualify. So that's too many points. So Panthers to 9 doesn't qualify anymore because it's 49.5. So Jets or Dolphins to -1, just win the game, and Giants to pick, just win the game, is probably the Wong teaser I would eyeball right now. Now, obviously, you got to wait right before kickoff before you can fire on it, but that's if you want to play a Wong teaser, that would be there. Let's see. Julio Jones and Kenny Golladay have ruined my life. Yeah, I mean, look, I was all hot and bothered for my fantasy team going into the year, and I only have one, but I thought I had Christian McCaffrey and Julio Jones. They were the 2 focal points. Those are my 2 first picks. McCaffrey 1, Julio Jones in the second round. You know how I'm doing in fantasy when it comes to those guys. Let's see. Is the Falcons game a trap game? Yeah. I mean, that's very, very possible. I would say, the Raiders could be overlooking, but I like what the Raiders are doing. I really do. I don't think they're in a spot to overlook anybody. So I'd be surprised if they laid an egg by overlooking and didn't take them didn't come out and play seriously. So I don't know, but I mean, yeah, it's possible. I mean, I don't hate that line that like, hey, they're gonna come out and not play hard, but I'm gonna say that they are. So I mean, I haven't bet it, but if I was going to, I would ride the public there. Matt, the Broncos asked the NFL to start a coach at quarterback. True. They did do that. This game should be on. Look how the NFL treated Vegas when our whole offensive line was out for a week. They moved the game up. That's true. They did do that. That's Max. That's true. It's brutal. Maybe Elway can play for them. Yeah, that's true. Matt, do you like the Jays today? So the Jays Mike's talking about the Creighton Blue Jays, who are laying 23. Is it South Dakota or North Dakota? Who are they playing for Creighton? North Dakota State. Coach McDermott, where was Coach McDermott? I think he was at North Dakota State, right? Before he went to Northern Iowa? One of the Dakotas he was at. I'm blanking on that, so I apologize for that. But I don't think they cover that 23 because oftentimes Coach Mack is pretty respectful when it comes to playing teams he's got histories with. They're not out to destroy them. So I tend to stay away when McDermott plays. But the Jays shoot the three so often that if the three's going, they'll just naturally beat them by 30 and not even mean to. But they'll win the game, obviously. But I don't know if I'd get involved with 23, 24 points. That's a lot given the history with Coach McDermott. He may just put, if they're up by 30, he may just put in all of his backups, for the last half of the second half, and then you lose your bet because they win by 18. I've seen it many a times with Creighton basketball. How do you feel about fading the two backup quarterbacks in a teaser, Giants and the Browns? No, I just told you about the Giants there with the Bengals. And then the Browns, everyone likes the Browns today to cover that 7 points. So I don't hate that. That's not horrible. Let's see. Frankie says, some people need to remember they're betting their own money, not Matt's money, if not helping out do your own show. Well, yeah. Okay, granted. Okay, just to kind of reiterate on kind of what the podcast said this morning, if you've been with me for a bit now, you know that I go through these periods, and this is a free podcast, and you can do with what you want with the information. I'm not charging you anything. I will never sell picks. I'll never be involved with anybody who does sell picks. I fundamentally disagree with buying picks. I go on this rant like every single week here on this live stream, but I don't believe in it. And since I don't believe in it, I understand the frustration if you're getting it, you're betting it, and then you want to blame somebody. I get that. You want to blame, you don't want to take responsibility. You press the button to buy the bet, not me, but it's easier to say, well, Matt, you're an idiot. You told me to do it and it didn't hit. Well, yeah, 53% is what I'm trying to get to. And we were way over that for about a 2-week stretch. And I know a lot of you guys are new. Maybe this is your first time on the live stream. Maybe you've just found the podcast. Maybe you just found me on Twitter or whatever. And I mean, that's pretty common. I mean, people get frustrated. They get mad. And you guys send me hate messages and you guys make fun of me. And okay, it comes with the territory, all right? And I get it. There's just sometimes there's certain things that cross a line to me that I get really mad about. And I didn't mean to put that kid on blast who was DMing me yesterday, but like I just found it to be crazy that there's this college kid who's going through, he's like a master's student in economics, and like he was like, I've got thoughts on how the sports gambling industry could be changed, and I would love to kind of sit down with you and have conversations about where you think the whole industry's going. And I was like, I'm crazy busy right now because I'm behind with editing assignments for my UNLV class is back tomorrow, and I've got work assignments I'm trying to do. There's all these different moving parts for my job, so like I'm trying to do all of my jobs, which I have 3 of them, and I'm trying to be as best at all of them as I can. And so I was gonna push the kid off to like January or February. But then his next message after I say like, yeah, let's get together in a couple of weeks and let's figure it out. His next message was, way to go with the picks today. Nice 0-3. Like, what? Like, are you serious? Like, you wanna pick my brain and ask me, and you're gonna come at me like that? Like, boy, you got a that is not smart, okay? That is not intelligent. That's a pretty stupid kid. So, like, in terms of, like, how you are, you just proved to me that I want nothing to do with you. So, like, I get the idea is to, like, razz or make fun or whatever you want. But, like, when someone's losing real money, don't get in their face about it. Like, I'm losing money. Yeah. Am I mad about it? Yeah. I'm not happy about it at all. I don't like watching my bankroll shrink. I don't like watching the X's pop up on my Twitter account. No. It's a hell of a lot more fun to win bets than it is to lose bets. So 2-1 days, we had like, I don't know what, I have to go back and exactly figure it out. But at one point, I think we're like 32-17 over 2 weeks. Like we were having winning day after winning day after winning day. We were due for one of these. Like we hadn't had one in a really long time. So that's the nature of the beast. The more you bet, the more the likelihood is that you're going to lose. So just keep that in mind, okay? You want to vent at somebody, vent at me. That's fine. Talk to me, but don't make fun. Don't be a jerk. Don't, stick your thumb in my eye and make it even worse because I'm right there with you. If you're trailing my bets, they're real, okay? When I lose real money. Not pretend. It's real money, and I don't like it. I don't like losing real money. I like the pick on the Raiders-Falcons game you gave on the juice today. Thanks, John. Appreciate it. Devontae Parker on the over on the receiving props. We'll get to props here in just 1 second. I don't mind that. Got Carolina plus 4.5 and money line plus 163. All right. PJ Tucker fan? All right. Are you still interested in the total if Julio is out? Yes, I'm still interested in the total if Julio is out. I think the Raiders are going to score. Ryan Fitzpatrick, rushing line 19.5. Does he ever run? Not really. He does at times, but I wouldn't bet that. Atlanta doesn't score with Jones out, but Ryan should have time to throw, so maybe this is okay. All the value on Ridley props over. Yeah, there is a lot of value on Ridley props. I didn't bet any of it, but my only concern is I do think the secondary is decent. I think there's maybe a commitment to the run today for the Falcons. And again, I do think turnovers may happen here. The Raiders on the road, don't expect, interceptions from Derek Carr, but fumbles and short fields are very possible when the Raiders go on the road. So it's a dome game. My banking on the over comes from the fact that both these are dome teams, and both these teams, the over has historically hit for both these teams when they're playing in domes, and now they're playing each other. I'm on Kyler Murray under 50.5. Clint, it's a good bet. I almost made it because, look, here's the Patriots, okay? What do? They take away your best weapon. What's the best weapon that the Cardinals have? It's Kyler Murray running. He disrupts everything. He picks up first downs. He keeps drives alive. He scores touchdowns, okay? So to me, I think what's the one thing that Belichick looks to take away? It's Murray. It's to stop him from running. It's to keep him in the pocket and make him throw. All right? I've got 2 prop bets on that game coming up here in a second, but let's just get to it right now. That is what I'm banking on here. Okay, so prop bets for today. Let's talk about. Okay, so I'm always trying to line this up properly so it looks best, but it's always tough to do. Okay, so here are the prop bets for Week 12. 0.25 units. Kyler Murray completions over 21.5 at minus 115 at BetMGM. DeAndre Hopkins over 5.5 receptions at minus 143 at BetMGM. Let's discuss these 2 plays. Here's the thought process around these 2 plays for me, okay? The reason why I think Murray, not yardage, but completion, is because I think this is a dink and dunk type of game for the Cardinals. I think it's spread the Patriots out. And I think it's just Murray finding people. He basically, in every game he has had his teams be competitive, he has had basically 21 or more completions. He's had some games where he's had 34 completions. I think this is a game where the Patriots just come off of a bad loss to the Texans where they could not stop tight ends. They couldn't stop guys over the middle. And it was pretty ugly. I mean, Jordan Atkins had a huge game against the Patriots. Where I thought on Thanksgiving Jordan Atkins would be part of the offense for the Texans. He was not at all part of the offense for the Texans. But I think this is a dink and dunk type of offensive game plan for the Cardinals to try to take advantage of this. And I think it's going to be a lot of throwing by Kyler Murray. Completions. I don't like the total there for yardage for him. I think it's a little too high and a little too volatile for the Patriots because, again, Murray is the best weapon. So I think they try to take away Kyler Murray as much as possible. So get 7-8 guys in the box, stop the run, make Murray throw, and that's when it's the 3-5 step drops and just dink dunk, quick screen passes, quick over the middle type of passes. So over 21.5 completions for Kyler Murray against that Patriots team, not yardage, just completions at minus 115. Now, who's he throwing to? Litany of guys. Larry Fitzgerald out, however, so no Fitzgerald, but DeAndre Hopkins, you can say, Matt, wait a minute. D-Hop is going to be guarded by Stephon Gilmore. Everybody knows this, right? So that's why the yardage I'm going to stay away from. But what Cliff Kingsbury tries to do is even if you're going to take away or try to limit his best players, he's going to find different ways to get DeAndre Hopkins the football. So even if it's 6-yard completions and 2-yard completions, it doesn't matter how many yards they go for. It's just does he catch the football? And to think that DeAndre Hopkins is not going to be a major part of the offense today, even with Stephon Gilmore, would be very surprising to me. So DeAndre Hopkins over 5.5 receptions at minus 143. It's kind of an old school way of doing it. If you're a prop better and you play DFS, I'm kind of stacking this now, right? I'm taking the quarterback and I'm taking the receiver. So I think 21.5 completions for Kyler Murray. Who is he throwing it to? I think DeAndre Hopkins is going to be a major target weapon here today. Maybe not huge yardage, just completions. 4 or 5 yard completions here, bubble screens and quick slants over the middle just to get the football into his hands. And I think the Cardinals subscribed almost like a basketball team where like your scorers need to see the ball go through the rim. I think the Cardinals know that you got to get Hopkins in the offense quickly. And even though Gilmore is the reigning defensive player of the year, his play has been slipping. And I think they believe that they can complete the ball on anybody in the NFL, and they're not afraid of anybody to throw. And I think there's real chemistry between Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. The Patriots give up over 7.5 yards per pass play. I think it's going to be a big part of the offense today. We're going over DeAndre Hopkins, 5.5 receptions. Kyler Murray over 21.5 completions today at BetMGM. All right, one more at BetMGM to talk about, and that is Tampa. Tom Brady under 302 yards passing at minus 115 at BetMGM. Look, Tom Brady's averaging about 268 yards per game passing, and I don't think this offense is going to put up big numbers. I just think the offense right now, there's something up with it, and whether it be the Antonio Brown signing, whether it be Mike Evans not running the right route, whether it be Scotty Miller is not a big part of the offense anymore, or just Tom Brady later in the year, bumps and bruises, and the arm strength is not there, they keep on asking Brady to throw deep balls, and he keeps on throwing interceptions. So I think that the Chiefs feel good about their ability to rush the passer. I think the Chiefs feel good enough about the ability to stop Ronald Jones and make it a Brady pass game. And, I mean, frankly, after what we've seen from Brady, I'm comfortable fading Brady. 302 yards is a lot of yards, okay? That's a lot of yards passing. So 302.5, we're going under Tom Brady, 302 yards passing today against the Kansas City Chiefs. And one more, we're going to the Titans game, and we're talking about Corey Davis, who had a huge game against the Colts the last time these guys played, over 52.5 yards receiving. DraftKings has that at minus 112. We're going Corey Davis over 52.5 yards receiving. I think you'll see a big passing effort. Obviously, right, the Colts are going to line up to stop Derrick Henry. They're going to commit heavily to the run, stop the run first and foremost, and then somebody else has got to get going. Basically, 1 or 2 catches for Corey Davis should get you there. And Corey Davis on the road this year has had some pretty big games for this Colts offense. So I'm going in, and all the attention, obviously, on A.J. Brown. They're going to play, shade all the defenses over to him on his side of the offense. That leaves Corey Davis open. So Corey Davis over 52.5 yards receiving at minus 112 are the plays. So quarter unit, 4 prop bets here. We're going Kyler Murray completions over 21.5, DeAndre Hopkins over 5.5 receptions. Tom Brady under 302 yards passing, and Corey Davis over 52.5 yards receiving today. Let me see if Dan Harris has sent his props to me. He has not. Oh, he did. Look at that. He did. Okay, so here is Dan Harris's his prop bets today, his plays. Sterling Shepard over 4.5 receptions. He'd be fine taking the over if the line's 5 on Sterling Shepard, over 4.5 to 5 receptions. Wayne Gallman, over 56.5 yards rushing. Wayne Gallman, over 56 for the Giants. And Chad Beebe at 21.5 yards receiving yards, over 21.5 receiving yards for Beebe there. So Shepard, Gallman, Beebe are the Dan Harris props, 3 of them. He said, he writes, my guess is because of COVID concerns, DK isn't offering that many player props, so I'm a little limited. Those are my favorites. He's right. I mean, Dan Harris is right. All the books. Here in Vegas, let me check. There were not player props up this morning in Vegas at Circa. Let's see. Did they put them up? No. Circa Sports on their app, they do not have player props up. Okay? To give you an idea as to what is going on right now here in Vegas or here for week 12, the books don't like this. The books don't like this week. They feel like they're going to get caught. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, the games are really hard to determine, right? We've got all sorts of weird COVID problems everywhere. 2, it's Thanksgiving weekend. Everyone's on vacation, okay? Everyone's been all over the place. We've had games on Thursday, games on Friday, games on Saturday. There's college basketball games all over the place today. You've got to have the manpower to staff up to be able to book and make these games and make lines in all these games and all these prop bets. So the books kind of punt on it, and they say, you know what? We're just not going to do it. We're not going to put up anything. Okay, yeah. So Adam Thielen officially inactive. We knew that because of COVID. So Thielen officially inactive. Julio Jones officially inactive today from a receiver standpoint. So on that, but that's the books here just don't want to get into it. They don't want to get involved, and they're afraid to get involved because they don't have the manpower or the staffing to do it. So player props, even at DraftKings, which has been known for having a laundry list of options to bet on, they are not comfortable right now taking that. So they're not going to be involved. Back to the well with Kyler over 40.5 yards rushing and Herbert over 280 yards passing. Trevor, I don't mind that. I think it's more likely, though. Again, the Kyler prop is coming way down. The Kyler prop opened at 53, all right? I saw it a couple days ago at 53 offshore, and now it's all the way down to 40.5 is what you're telling me. I believe that the focus of this defense for the Patriots today is going to be stop Kyler Murray from beating them with his legs. That's going to be their number one focus, is stopping Kyler Murray. So I'd be careful with the Murray rushing prop. Him rushing the football. I think he may have only a couple of times. I don't think he pops a big one. He may rush for a touchdown in the red zone. That's possible, but that prop has gotten very expensive as the book. We're getting burned on that for basically like it was almost automatic every week. Kyler Murray was rushing for a touchdown. So, and then the other side, Herbert over 280.5 yards passing. Well, I just told you the big rumor out there, the big story is that Austin Eckler is going to get the football a lot today. So if that's the case, if the Chargers come in here and say we're on the road and Buffalo, the weather's going to be okay in Buffalo, but it's going to be chilly. It's upstate New York in November, and so we're going to run the ball. And we're not going to ask Herbert to throw the ball 50 times again. And, I don't know. I mean, that's the game plan might be to run the football against the Bills, who don't have a great rush defense. So maybe that's why. So you got to be a little concerned. You got to be a little careful of that. So I don't know. I mean, this might be the day to bet the opposite on both those props. Maybe you go opposite. You go with the under Murray, and you go with the under for Herbert. It's not fun to cheer for unders, but maybe this is the day to do that. Interesting boost bet as Kelsey and Gronk get a touchdown. Casey gives up a lot to a tight end position. Yeah, but again, Gronk's tough. Gronk's tough. Some days he's part of the offense, other days he's not. And again, I don't think there's. You could say Brady is going to go back to who he knows, and that's very possible. But we'll see what the Bucs look like. Everyone expects Tom Brady to have a monster day today. Okay, everyone's like Brady's going to bounce back. Brady's going to bounce back. Okay. I'm not in that camp, but I can understand the thought process around it, but I'm not in that camp. Matt, see the number one prop on the Betting Pros prop bet cheat sheet, Fitz under 261.5. Do you agree? I would think Fitz is going to throw all over the Jets, and I like the over. Well, look, here's part of the problem. The Jets get after the quarterback, right? I mean, that's one thing the Jets have been known for. There are certain games that you just don't know what the game plan is going to be. And there are certain games where can you see Ryan Fitzpatrick getting blitzed to holy heck and getting hit a lot? I can. A divisional game, he's starting. He's been known to throw interceptions. I don't know. I mean, again, there's just certain games I can't touch. Giants at Bengals, Dolphins at Jets. I mean, these are untouchable games in every capacity for me. So do I agree with that? Maybe. But I can see the philosophy. I can see the projections, but I can't touch that. I mean, it's the Jets. I can't touch that. Okay. Prop time. I hate the lines for this week. You're not alone. Everybody hates the props. Alvin Kamara over 21.5 yards receiving seems like a lock. Yeah. I mean, look, Kamara has had some weird roles in that offense, though. I mean, look what happened in the first start for Taysom Hill. He wasn't really a factor at all. He was in the passing game, but not in the running game. So I don't know. I mean, it seems low, but I don't know. I mean, Kamara maybe runs the ball every time now because they're at altitude and they're against that Broncos defense. I don't know. I couldn't play it because it's Taysom Hill, and it's funky right now with Taysom Hill. It's funky. I don't know if I should tease the Saints game up or down. You're right. That's a horrible conversation. I would agree. The line was 6, right? Now it's 15.5. So if you're going to tease 15.5 down, okay, what does that do for you really? All right. So you get to cross 10, right? That's it. You're crossing one key number. Well, I guess you're crossing 14. So let me correct myself. You're crossing two key numbers. You're crossing 14 and 10, which is not bad, I guess. Okay, that's two key numbers you're crossing. But really, you want to get it to 7, right? I mean, if you're going to do teasers, taking a double-digit favorite and pulling them down. But then, I don't like that. I don't like 15.5 to 10.5, or to 9.5. I don't really like that. That's a little bit too high. But then you say, okay, let's go the other way. Okay, it's 15.5. Let's go to 21.5. All right, so you cross 21. That's a good number. Do you think the Broncos score? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. So if they don't score at all and it's 24-0, you lose. That teaser's dead. So that's just a no play. I mean, that game, I don't think you can touch that game personally. MVS death threats over under half a unit. Disgusting, right? I mean, my God, that's horrible. What are you doing? What are you doing? Is Bridgewater playing? I haven't seen. Someone says TJ or Teddy. Is Bridgewater playing? I mean, I guess if he plays, I guess I would say the Panthers are more alive if they're doing that. Let's see. Good, Drew. Drew says I'm 5-0 on sides, 1-1 on 3-team parlays. I hit the Texans spread for plus 425. I'm plus 9 units since Thursday. Good. That's good. Keep going. It was a good call on Atkins. The post-game interview, even Deshaun Watson said he missed him twice in the end zone. Yeah. So I thought that was a good play. I thought Jordan Atkins was going to be a good weapon to use on Thanksgiving. Didn't happen. Let's see. Keenan Allen plus 140 touchdown. Don't hate it. Keenan Allen's having a monster year. Could Bruce Arians? Could it be that Bruce Arians is not actually a good coach? Yes, yes, it's very, very possible that Bruce Arians is not a good football coach. In fact, that's why I said that the team early in the after Brady went there, I bet the over 9.5 for wins because I thought they'd win 10 games. But then everyone who was saying bet the Bucs to win the Super Bowl, I said there's just no way. It's just Bruce Arians is a fantasy football coach in a lot of ways. Okay, he puts up big numbers, always has big offenses, but in terms of the X's and O's, the little details you have to have, don't have a false start penalty on 4th and 2, don't throw a pick in key moments. I mean, this is just what his offense is built upon. His offense, you can squeeze it, and when it gets down to it, it doesn't execute. It just doesn't. It doesn't come through in the clutch. And they got Tom Brady because they thought that Brady was clutch, and we saw it in the last game. I'm just not a fan of Bruce Arians. I'm also not a very big fan of him throwing his players under the bus after Brady and Gronk have played for the opposite type of guy for years. When things got rough in New England, it never was, well, Brady missed a bunch of guys open, or I don't know why Mike Evans is not getting clean, or I don't know why we're struggling against good quality teams in prime time. I don't get what's going on. Again, I think this team, if they lose badly today, I believe that during the bye week, you're going to see stories from unnamed players on that roster ripping Bruce Arians for being way too rigid with how he wants his offense run and how he wants his team to perform. He's not being flexible. He's not adapting. Tom Brady can't throw deep balls, but he keeps on calling deep throws. It should be dink and dunk. Scooter Miller should be a much bigger part of this offense. He was early when they were winning, and he's not anymore. Why? I don't know. I think this is my own theory, okay? But my theory is that dink and dunk to Miller didn't sit well with Arians. He didn't like that. That looked like New England. Didn't look like one of his offenses. It showed that Tom Brady was in control. He didn't like it, right? So they bring in Antonio Brown, and it basically was, Brady, I'm going to give you Antonio Brown, but we're running my offense. We're running my plays in my offense. So this whole Scooter Miller thing, yeah, we're done with that, right? Okay, you want Antonio Brown? We're done with that. And Brady said, fine. And then they got it, and that was the trade-off. And everything kind of went to crap after that. I mean, every week that Miller is not a big part of this offense, I think to myself, yep, they're going to lose. And Miller's not going to be a part of this offense, and I think they're going to lose. And I think they lose by at least 7 points today to Kansas City. It's just the Chiefs have been... This is just a team where the books hate it, and they hope to get a win somewhere else because it's Kansas City, it's Patrick Mahomes. And remember the history between Mahomes idolizing Brady and then the head coach, his losses in key moments, Andy Reid's losses in key moments to Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. There's history there. That's my Okay, two places, the two teams I've got, Chiefs and Titans. That's where I'm putting my money today. Chiefs and Titans coming up. And by the way, fade that all you want. Rams as part of the teaser today. I don't hate that. I mean, so I like the Rams today. I do. I really. The reason why I got off of the Rams today is simply because the 49ers in a divisional type of situation, it feels a little trappy to me, where everyone's like, oh, yeah, the Niners are done. They stink. This is when the Rams lay eggs, okay? This is when Jared Goff reverts backwards. There's no spotlight on this game. There's no attention. Everyone's just assuming the Rams are going to win this game, and this has been where even McVay, too, when there's not a ton of hype around the game and they just say, oh, yeah, you should win that game. This is where, like, the Rams win the game by a last-second field goal, right? I mean, they get pushed and they turn the football over and it looks ugly and then they, barely get a victory. So that's why I stayed away from the Rams. I don't mind it, but if you get it to 6, tease it down to a pick and take the Rams, I don't hate that. But 5.5 is the current number on that. Let's see. Cooper Kupp over 16.5 yards receiving. Well, if it's anything like last week, yeah. I mean, my goodness, Cooper Kupp it felt like every pass went to Cooper Kupp last week for the Rams offense. So, yeah, I don't mind that. Is Bridgewater playing? I haven't seen if any of you guys. I haven't seen. I've had the NFL Network on. I haven't seen if Bridgewater is playing today or not. That's a pretty significant difference for the Panthers. Although PJ Tucker wasn't bad. I mean, he wasn't horrible. Let's see. Panthers. I don't know. Aguilar over 47.5 yards receiving. So, Dominic, here's the thing with Nelson Aguilar. One, he's got to catch the ball. But they're going to have him. He's going to be part of the deep threat. I mean, they're going to throw the ball deep. I fully expect that against the Falcons. So, Aguilar, the one worry is, does he catch the balls thrown to him? Ask an Eagles fan. And then number 2 is, how many yards? It's feast or famine because they basically give him 1 or 2 deep shots a game. So it's like, yeah, could he hit for a 40-yard pass play? Absolutely. And then you're clean. You're good. Could he drop that 40-yard pass play and then you're toast? Yes. So that kind of is a boom or bust bet. I get a little concerned about those because you're kind of asking for literally like a Hail Mary in some ways for that to hit. So I don't know how big of a part of the overall moving of the chains he will be, and I prefer to bet on receivers that will be asked on 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 8 to make plays consistently for the offense versus Aguilar kind of over the top. Same thing with Henry Ruggs, right? Ruggs is the same thing. It's when do the Raiders throw deep to Ruggs? How are they going to move the chains? Well, they're going to move the chains by throwing the ball to Darren Waller, to Josh Jacobs running the football, and then basically, try to find somebody else to step in and help move the chains. Edwards, if they can, and then obviously, Hunter Renfrow is a big guy on 3rd down for them. So, maybe look at Hunter Renfrow numbers. Maybe look at him for his yardage a little bit. Thoughts on Sony Michel returning today? So the reason why I'm not playing the Harris, and I was going back and forth with a couple of people on Twitter yesterday about, Damian Harris. I love Damian Harris, okay? Every time I don't bet Damian Harris, he goes off for 100. Every time I bet Damian Harris, he gets like 40 yards. Michel coming back, I don't know what that does to the Patriots offense, to be quite honest, other than it gives the Cardinals something else to think about. The Patriots are 100% going to run the football. I mean, they are 100% going to run. Okay, hold on. Live shot, NFL Network with Bridgewater warming up. It looks like Bridgewater's playing. All right, so it looks like Bridgewater's in. So that's significant. 4-7 Panthers at 4-6 Vikings. I hate the Vikings. Can I say that out loud? I hate that football team. Like, without Adam Thielen, fade. I thought about fading Cousins today, but I hate that football team. Whenever I ask the Vikings, or whatever I bet on the Vikings to not do, they do. Like, if I bet them to win, they lose. Bet them to lose, they win. I bet Kirk Cousins to stink, he's great. I bet Cousins to be great, he stinks. So that's another stay away for me on that. John's asking for Dan Harris's prop bets once again. Okay, Dan Harris's prop bets. He's been pretty good. I think he's hit his last 5 here on our live stream. Sterling Shepard over 4.5 receptions, comfortable going up to 5. Wayne Gallman over 56.5 yards rushing, and Chad Beebe for over 21.5 yards receiving are the 3 plays. Good luck finding these. These are all at DraftKings. Good luck finding these if you don't have DraftKings in your area, because this is not a good day for prop bets. I just mentioned it. The books are not populating their overall menus like they normally do. Let me just reset. These are the prop bets I have bet today. Feel free to fade away. Kyler Murray completions over 21.5. DeAndre Hopkins over 5.5 receptions. A little stack there against the Patriots. Tom Brady under 302 yards passing at -115. And Corey Davis over 52.5 yards receiving today. That at DraftKings against the defense for the Colts here. There are some really big games today. There are some really fun games today but we are entering a really difficult part of the season. Okay, this is normally it's hard anyway when we get down here, and it's sort of like a slow decline until we get to week 17, which is the hardest week of the year to bet. But you've got COVID concerns, and you got all sorts of issues here as to where we're going to go. But my favorite bets today, you've seen it over here. Kansas City -3.5, Titans +3, over Raiders and the Falcons, and a 2-team teaser where we're taking the Chargers and putting them at 10.5, and we're taking the Titans and we're putting them to 9. So those are our 4 plays today, all at one unit here for us on the Daily Juice. I'm gonna kind of bite down hard and hope that we start to turn this around a little bit. It will happen, it will happen, but there are some things that you tend to get wrong, and you get bets wrong, and then you're in a kind of a rut. So looking to bust out of the rut, looking to kind of change things around. But, the Discord chat has been awesome. Oh, real quick, before we get out of here, remember, if you've not entered into the contest to win the Davante Adams helmet, we give that away. Let's see. Davante Adams helmet gets given away on Tuesday. All right, so you got one more day, today and tomorrow, Tuesday, for the Davante Adams autographed Packers helmet to be given away. If you've not entered that, you go to Apple Podcasts or Stitcher, leave a review, positive or negative, take a screenshot of that picture, then go over to bettingpros.com/juice, bettingpros.com/juice. Enter in that picture on the form, and you're good to go. It's that easy, and then you were there for the Davante Adams autographed Packers helmet. And then if you have not hit subscribe to this YouTube channel, do it. Hit subscribe, because if you win the Davante Adams helmet, you will also win a $50 gift card to Pristine Auction if you are on both. If you're a subscriber to the YouTube channel and you are and someone who's entered into the contest with the review, you get both. You get the helmet and you get the $50 from Pristine Auction to do whatever you want. Buy somebody a great Christmas present, buy somebody a great holiday present, buy your boss something, buy yourself something, whatever it might be. So that's one way of doing that. Rams are going to lose today, according to Pokey. Okay. Again, the 49ers are a popular play. And again, like I said before, this is where the Rams have fallen on their face historically. No one's talking about them. Game's not that big. Not as what we normally see in terms of like a hype game. And the 49ers, they've got issues clearly with where they're going to go and practice and play, but not for today. They know where they're going to be on the road, and run the football against that Rams defense is tough to do, but, maybe we'll see. If Goff is the bad version of himself, that's how the 49ers win today. I've seen a lot of people say, take the points, Niners plus 5.5. Money line, 49ers. Yep, I don't hate it. Don't hate it at all if that's where you want to go and do that. You were absolutely right about the Vikings playing a Vikings game. I needed to hear that from Chad. Yep, that's a problem. What's the juice number for props that you find unbettable? -200. If you get anything into the -200s, I won't play. It's just not worth it. So that's kind of my number in terms of props. -200, because I only bet 0.25 units, right? So I'm not going, if it's just not worth it, right? If you're going to go ahead and bet 0.25 units at -200 plus, it's just, it's okay. A win's a win, but that's not fun. I mean, there are people, look, there are people out there that will give you prop bets and give you all sorts of bets at like minus 300, right? Minus 400. And they're like, oh, look at me. I'm right. Here we go. It's like, dude, come on. Like a 3-1 is supposed to hit 66% of the time. It's okay. Yeah. And people say that's how you build a bankroll. Yeah. Until you lose, right? Until you lose. And then you're on a streak like I'm on. And all of a sudden, like you're betting all these, big favorites and you get wiped out. So, the people who wind up betting big favorites, you have to ask them, are you betting to win 1 unit or are you betting just 1 unit? It's a big difference, right? So 3-1, if you're talking about, 300 to 1, or sorry, 3 to 1 rather, you're laying 300 to win 100, right? Or you're going to lay 100 to win 30, which that's not the right discrepancy, right? That's not the books have a big enough advantage as it is. You're giving them way too much of an advantage if you do that. So I don't like that at all. Raiders. Okay, I don't mind that, Joe. Again, I'm with you on that. I'm watching that game for points, but I like the Raiders as well. I have not bet it, but I like the Raiders to win today on the road at the Falcons. Let's see. Anything else to get into? Matt, I find I'm making good picks, but I'm still down some weeks. How do I determine how many units to bet each bet? I totally understand there will be down weeks as well. 1. How many units did you bet? 1 or less. 1. That's it. I mean, again, 99% of the time on this podcast, I'm betting 1 unit. That's it. Now, I get it. There are people out there that are going to say 2 units, 50 units, 100 units, right? Load up when you're, I believe in this, is load up big time, right? I don't do that because I don't want the roller coaster ride, all right? It's already a roller coaster ride. I don't need Space Mountain, okay? I want to be in the kiddie ride, right? Lows, keep the lows not too low. Keep the highs not too high. Slow and steady, okay? That's what I try to do, slow and steady. So I know it's not that fun. I know it's way more fun to be like, oh, look at this. I'm up 50 units. Great. Now you're on. Now the next 2 weeks you're on 75. Okay. So it's just a betting philosophy that I have. It's just something that I was lucky enough to get involved with some people about 4 or 5 years ago who were just getting into the sports gambling space. And I got a chance to kind of pick their brain and talk about where we think the industry is going to go and what new gamblers should know about. And one of the first things that we all talked about was responsible bankroll management. And having that number, that nut, right, that you have, take that money, put that somewhere across 4 or 5 different accounts, have it there, and then being able to draw on it, keep track, keep records, keep where you are money-wise, up and down. And then, after each big football season, essentially bet the whole year, and then after football is over, you then can reassess. You either pull money out or put money in. Was it profitable? Was it not? Did you have, were you up over the course of a year? And frankly, it's not a calendar year. It's a fiscal year, if you will, right? It's after the Super Bowl. So it's Super Bowl to Super Bowl is 1 year. So that's how I do it, and as we've been running here, and we started this podcast in July, so that's really where the official podcast record comes from. But I've got my own wagers and my own records and things that I've done. It's 1 unit, okay? It's 1 unit, 1 unit, 1 unit. That's what you do, okay? So then when I go 2-8, I can survive, right? And be like, I'm red hot. Let's go 5 units. I'm kicking ass. Let's go. Let's double up, right? Think about where I would be if I did that. Think about how down I would be, how much of a hit my bankroll would have taken if I had done that. So that's why I'm the type of person, I hate losing more than I like winning. Okay? I've always been that way. I hate losing. I try to limit the losses. That's what I try to insulate myself from the losses. So rather than push it and say, hey, build your bankroll up when you're hot, ride the heater, if you will, right? Well, I was pretty hot through Thursday. Okay, I was. And I was, then I thought, okay, here we go. We're going great. And on Thursday, I gave out a bunch of plays because we were rocking it. We were doing really well. So, we had a bunch of plays. Then on Thursday night's podcast, after that big run, I kept going here. And we hammered on Friday. We hammered on Saturday. And we were ice cold. Last 2 days were ice cold. So that's what I know is going to happen. So it's always 1 unit. Always, always, always 1 unit. Always 1 unit. Okay. Let's see. Matt, not sure if you've already addressed this one, but first half on the Saints Broncos is 18.5. Is it a gamble or a good bet? It's a monster gamble. It's a monster gamble. We have no flipping idea. I just can't put money on it, okay? I can't wait to watch it, but I can't bet it. I have no idea. I mean, you're flying blind. We have no clue what the Broncos are going to look like at all. None. So I can't bet it. Just there's no stats. There's no history. There's nothing to go on. There's no film. It's just you want to have something on the game. Okay. It's simply just wanting something on the game. That's it. Because you can't make a real case for either. You just can't. It just doesn't work. So, okay. Jason says, I'm tailing your two-team teaser. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. One thing, Joe says, Matt, I came into this real late, but I wanted to know what you think about the Pats today. Look, the Patriots are live. They're live, right? I'm just going to say that. They're live. Everyone's betting the Chargers. Sorry, everyone's betting the Cardinals. They're heavy on the Cardinals, 90%, 91%. Bets and money. Pros and Joes both coming in, fading the Patriots hard. You're fading Belichick at home. Do it at your own peril. I have the Patriots in one of my pick contests, okay? And I wasn't the one that picked it, okay? How about that? I was like, you want it? That's great. I was dead wrong last week putting the Patriots in our selection against the Houston Texans, and my partner said, yes, we're taking the Patriots this week. So I would be careful. I thought about teasing the Patriots up. The reason why I did not go from 2 to 8 is because there is the possibility that the Patriots get blown out. That is true. It could be a huge loss for the books. That could be one of those games they just cross off and move on because the Patriots their offense, it's just so tough. It's just so tough. And there are playmakers on that defense. If you allow turnovers to be a part of that game, if the Pats are throwing picks or fumbling the football, yeah, it could get ugly for the Patriots. I'm not going to deny that point. That's possible. That's why I didn't bet it, because I just don't know. I do think the Patriots are live today, though. Okay. That's going to do it for us here on the stream here. We always go for an hour. It's a little more than an hour. Hopefully you had a great holiday. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate all the DMs and all the support you guys have given. I appreciate that. Hopefully, let's get back after it today. Let's get some wins on the board. Let's stop the bleeding a little bit, and let's get after it here today. You'll find me in the Discord chat, bettingpros.com/chat. If you've not gone into that, I would recommend it. It's fun. We hang out. We chat all throughout the games. People talk about bets they've made, bets they've missed, bets that they've cashed. Talk about my plays. Did they fade or follow? Blah, blah, blah. Discord, bettingpros.com/chat to join the Discord channel. I will be there coming up for the early games, late games, and definitely for Sunday night. And if I add on to things like tonight's Packers and Bears game, that's where I post the add-ons in the Daily Juice Discord channel. I do sometimes on Twitter, but my Twitter followings it's just so random who's following me on Twitter. It's all over the place. It's my radio audience. It's my podcast audience. It's people at UNLV. I mean, it's all over the place. So I tend just to put the plays just on the Discord chat because it's simpler. I know everybody understands what we're doing and understands what I've got going already. So there's no explanation needed to go and post a pick like that in the Discord chat. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on Twitter @SportsTalkMatt every Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern for the live stream here off the Betting Pros YouTube channel. We're back tomorrow morning for the Betting Pros Daily Juice podcast for Monday Night Football. Best of luck, good luck, and we'll talk to you in the Discord chat.